Hello everyone, my name is Josh Richards and I'm the Marketing Director at Merit Solutions, and I want to first thank you for joining us today for our webinar titled Support Intelligent and Effective Manufacturing with Microsoft Dynamics 365. I think we have a great session planned today, but prior to formally introducing you to our presenters, Misty Allen and Alexander Jovanovic from Merit Solutions, Misty's from Microsoft, I wanted to cover a couple of housekeeping items first. First, we wanted to let everyone know that this webinar is being recorded and the recording will be shared with attendees following the event. All attendees are currently in listen-only mode. However, we will invite you to use the Q&A panel in the GoToWebinar control panel to submit any questions or comments you may have. We'll attempt to save time at the end of the session for Q&A with our presenters today. And then finally, today's session is the, I believe, fourth webinar in our series titled Leading Life Sciences to Success in a Digital Future. So the series is co-sponsored by Microsoft. We're happy to have Misty here with us. And Misty, if you can move us forward one slide, we can go through just the past couple of sessions that we've had so far. When you look at the red ones, we've gone through a couple of sessions on validation. We've had a CFO come in and discuss Dynamics 365 from a CFO standpoint. Our last session, we dove into the financial management reporting capabilities of Dynamics 365, and today we're going to go through the manufacturing capabilities of the platform. When you look at the next two that we currently have on the calendar, again, we'll have someone from Microsoft in a couple of weeks talk about the Microsoft Cloud and compliance, security, things of that nature, and then we'll have one of our partners, Valerie King-Bailey, present on validating the cloud and what needs to happen in a cloud validation environment. So I think that is enough for me right now. I will go ahead and hand things off to our presenters now. We'll start with Misty Allen from Microsoft. She will walk through the Dynamics 365 overview, and then Alexander from Merit Solutions will go through the actual product demo. And again, we'll try to save time at the end for Q&A. So Misty, go ahead and take us away.
Excellent, thank you. So again, my name is Misty Allen. I am a Microsoft Technical Solutions professional. My focus has been on the Dynamics platform for the last 15 years. So let's get started. I just wanted to take you through an overview of Dynamics 365. What is Dynamics 365? And one very unique value that Microsoft brings to the table is that we aren't just focused on building business applications. We're also focused on productivity applications, the application platform, cognitive services, Internet of Things, data, identity, and infrastructure. So there's a lot of pieces that Microsoft is investing in around your business applications that enhance them based on that investment. So let's start to talk about the data, because this is really where it all begins. It all starts with the Azure Hyperscale Cloud. Azure, we have 38 Azure regions today, which is more than AWS and Google combined. And to think about the scale of what we're building here to house and manage all of this data, this is just one of the data centers. So one of the blips on the map back there, one of the data centers, and for scale, we've highlighted in the circle in the right-hand corner, that's a semi-truck. So that's the scale of what we are building for the Azure cloud. And there's a number of pieces that we're focused on. I'll take you through those as well. So first of all, let's talk about the isolation of the platform tenant. So you have, as a customer, full SQL capability, but you're sharing the cost of all the resources that support that tenant. So you have all of your databases, but beneath that, as a support, we have the Azure SQL Platform as a Service and Elastic Pools as well. And I just clicked the wrong way. Okay, let's talk about availability, reliability, and scale. This comes up all the time. It's a concern for all of our customers. And the way that Microsoft tackles this is that in the primary data center, you will have a primary database where all of your transactions are run, and then a secondary database where we do all of the analytics. So from a performance and reliability perspective, all of the big performance hogs of the past, those are all being done in the secondary database. So it doesn't affect your transactions, so you can continue business as usual as you're doing these big, powerful analytics as well. So another piece that is very, very important to most of our customers, or all of our customers really, is encryption. How safe will our data be if it's out in the cloud? So Microsoft has introduced a Microsoft Azure Key Vault, and these data keys are controlled by the customer. So they're customer managed keys. You create the key and you control the key. So we don't have access to the key. Even as Microsoft, we cannot get into your data. So it's fully secure. So what happens when there's a disaster? What do? Microsoft has a return to operations of below 1 hour. So how do we handle this? We have our primary data center, like I mentioned before, which has your primary and secondary databases, but we also have a secondary data center with a recovery database for you as well. And this is how we can manage this disaster recovery so quickly. Okay, moving on from data, let's talk about the business applications. So what does it mean to be Dynamics 365? Traditionally, we all looked at CRM and ERP, for example, as very separate applications. Well, with Microsoft Dynamics 365, we're breaking down the artificial silos between CRM and ERP. We're unifying the capabilities of our existing Dynamics CRM and ERP products together into one new service. So what's included in this service? There's a lot of capabilities included in the service. It now provides end-to-end business application functionality, and all of it's delivered as a SaaS service in the cloud. So Dynamics 365 provides an incredibly rich set of business functionality across each of the business apps that are part of the Dynamics 365 service. So when we talk about that, we're talking about operations, field service, sales, customer service, projects, financials, and marketing, all within one service. And you'll find as you get exposed to each of these different apps that they each share some common themes. They're all purpose-built, productive, intelligent, and adaptable. So I'm going to spend the rest of our time together walking you through what we mean by this. Let's start with Cortana Intelligence. So Cortana Intelligence is Microsoft's fully managed intelligent big data and advanced analytics offering in the cloud. It's designed to help transform your data into intelligent action, and this is one of the biggest challenges that we've been facing. As the years have gone by, we've been gathering more and more and more data, and if you don't have a way to turn that into intelligent action, it can become a burden. So we have the Cortana Intelligence Suite, which can come in and take all of the data and use the analytics and the tools provided to be able to really dig in to see what this data means. So what you're looking at here is the reinvented architecture of Dynamics 365. This is what the screens look like. Embedded into all of the workspaces throughout Dynamics 365, you'll find Microsoft Power BI using Cortana Intelligence. So behind the scenes, we're doing all of this analytics for you, and it's predictive analytics as well, and we can put this right on the screen for you at your fingertips. So we're taking years of research and innovation spanning technology and infrastructure for advanced analytics, including machine learning, which is a big part of our Dynamics 365 forecasting, our supply forecasting. Big data storage and processing in the cloud, and capabilities like vision, face, and speech recognition, they all integrate with Cortana. And within the business applications, you can take advantage of these. One of the other great tools that is available within Dynamics 365 is something called a task guide. So in the past, bringing on new employees, onboarding them, getting them used to the system, getting them trained has been a big expense for our customers. And using all of the information that we have behind the scenes and the technology that we have within Microsoft, we've created a much simpler way to not only bring on new employees, but also to remind employees of tasks maybe they don't do that often. So the task guide, what this does, instead of your traditional help where you'd have to go read a document and come back and work your way through the product, it actually guides you through it using these little pop-ups. So it's a great tool for onboarding and help transactions. Okay, let's talk about mobility. So empowering people to do more, empowering every person on the planet to do more, that's the Microsoft mission statement. And mobility is a big part of that. So from right within the application, power users can actually create mobile experiences now without writing any code, no developer needed, and we'll talk about this a little bit later as well, for all mobile device platforms. So whether it be an iPad, a Surface, a phone, whatever it may be, mobility is a big focus for Microsoft. Okay. Dynamics 365 is architected for intelligence. So we have our data, the SQL, the traditional transactional database. We also have the operational store, which is the common data service, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. This is really what brings it all together for us and allows you to connect all these other applications. Cortana Intelligence is a big part of this. We have the Azure Data Lake, cognitive services, Azure machine learning, and optimization tools built into our Cortana Intelligence. So we can take your data from your business applications and also pull it together with Office, Azure, Bing searches, LinkedIn, any kind of data that's out there, and we'll talk about that as well, and bring it into Dynamics 365, and it's embedded into your business process. So the platform is very strong. It's an immersive experience as well for your users. One of the examples, intelligent forecasting, I mentioned this earlier. So if you think about everything that you do in order to determine and predict what your sales will be down the road, especially your long-term forecast, this can be very challenging. But adding in Cortana Intelligence with Azure Machine Learning allows you to have the system tracking your sales and tracking trends and pulling it together and suggesting a forecast for you based on all the data that you gather over time. It's just one example of the power. Okay, so transformational intelligence platform. This is what Microsoft has built, including web analytics, social media, IoT, Office, and Dynamics 365 right in the center of all of this. Weather data, so any information that's out there that could impact your sales, we can pull all of this information in and turn that insight into action. So let's talk about the Common Data Service. The new Common Data Service, it surfaces all the data stored within Dynamics 365 across a common set of entities. So sales, customer service, operations, financials, and more. What's great about this is that we also integrate entities from Office 365 in the Common Data Service as well. So when you bring in Office 365, things like if you set up a meeting with a customer to discuss a sales opportunity, for example, that opportunity entity in the Dynamics 365 sales app will be automatically linked to the meeting entity in Office 365. So we're bringing your productivity tools and your business applications together using one common data service. Okay. But we're taking this beyond what's in Dynamics 365 and Office 365. You can actually add your own entities as well as integrate ones from partners. So if we talk about the partner ecosystem out there as well and the functionality that people are building, bringing that in, this gives you an incredibly powerful way to build business processes that can span across every system within your organization. And they seamlessly extend and accelerate all your business apps and productivity solutions. It's a very, very powerful tool that we're very, very excited about. Okay. And when you think about that structure sitting underneath all of your data, the common data service. To make it even easier, you can build applications that span across all of your systems. So this is where Power Apps and Microsoft Flow tools come in. Jumped ahead too quickly. Power Apps and Flow, they make it possible to build a solution that work with the common data service as well as data stored in existing system and data services as well. So what this allows you to do is take and create an application that's pulling in data from multiple applications and to pull it together into one app. So the idea here is to give your users just one place to look, no matter where. They don't care where the data is stored. They don't care that your meeting is stored in Office, but your contact information is stored in the sales app. They just want to see everything together, and that's really the power of the Power Apps. It brings it all together for your users. So there's a lot of exciting things going on with Dynamics 365, and one of the ways to keep it up to date on the things that are going on is by using this new roadmap website, roadmap.dynamics.com. It's updated monthly. Microsoft, we use it all the time actually internally as well. It shows what's new and actually what is coming. So we're really trying to be very transparent about where we're making our investments and allow our customers and prospects to get in very quickly and understand where we're going with the product. Okay. So no better time than today to start your digital transformation. This is very true. Dynamics 365 is a really pivotal release for us, and we're introducing it with tremendous new capabilities. Capabilities that can enable you to accelerate your business even faster. And it's never been a better time to be a Dynamics customer. And if there's one thing that I'd love to leave you with, it's that the opportunities for all of us in this room to drive digital transformation and have enormous business impact have never been greater. All of us at Microsoft are looking forward to the opportunity to partner with you in this journey. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. I'll be on the phone for the rest of the webinar, so if you have any questions about what I've talked about today, I can talk to you about it at the end. Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much, Misty. Alexander, I
Sure.
will go ahead and change presenter over to you. Let me know if you have access.
Thank you, Josh. Just need a short confirmation that you can see my screen.
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you. So welcome to the webinar from my end as well. My name is Alexander Jovanovic. I will be showing you the operational side of Dynamics 365 for operations. And as you can see, I'm starting from my home screen of D365 for operations, which is filled with workspaces tailored to enhance my work experience. However, I also have other great features that can help me be more productive, such as favorites. As you can see, those 4 stars are the actual Dynamics forms that I marked as favorites so that we can go through this faster. This session I will start from the sales orders. Although you would ask yourself, we are talking about the manufacturing. Why do we start from sales orders? Well, in this particular case, I created a sales order that will actually drive my demand. Okay, the demand can be driven also from the forecast, from the other production orders, etc. In this particular case, we created a sales order of 2 finished good products that we plan to sell to our customer. So let me give you a little bit more details about the couple of products that I intend to, well, sell eventually, but before that I will need to produce them. Those are 2 different packs of medications, like 2 different boxes. Both are containing 12 vials. The first product has 10 milliliter vials of the medication, and the other one has 25 milliliter vials. Okay, so if I click on this, you see it looks like a link, this item number. I can navigate directly to the product master, where we can see more details of what the configuration of the product is. In particular, what I want to share with you is how it's produced and from what this particular product is produced. So to determine the structure of the product, we use bills of materials. So I will show you what the bill of materials for this product looks like. As you can see, it's manufactured from 3 components. The first component is the bulk pharmaceutical product, which I pack into vials and pack 12 vials into one box. So that's the very simple but illustrative structure of this product. I will go to this a little bit more later. The route of a product tells us how do we produce this product, which resources we use, how long does it take to produce a particular quantity, how do we set up costing, overheads, etc., etc. In this particular example, for 1 hour, we process 200 boxes, so we fill 200 boxes. We need some resources for that. We can have a filling machine for that. We can determine how much time do we need to set up the production process, etc., etc. So the structure of the other product is pretty much similar to this one, except that we use more bulk chemical, bulk semi-finished good, and then we of course need bigger vials for that. Let me go back to the BOM version of this particular product. And if you remember, I said that the main component of this finished good is the semi-finished product, which is a bulk pharmaceutical product. And if I click on this item number here, okay, did I click? Yes, I did. I can navigate to that particular item master, and we can also take a look at the same thing, such as route, and in this particular case, formula. So if you remember from a couple of minutes ago, the finished good had BOM versions. However, this semi-finished good has formula version. So what is the difference? We use bills of materials for discrete manufacturing, and to produce a discrete item, we use production orders. Whereas for process manufactured items, we use formulas, and the production orders for process or formula items are called batch orders. So let me show you the formula version in this situation. It really looks like a bill of material. However, there are some significant differences between the bills of materials and formulas. For instance, the formula has advanced features well tailored for the process manufacturing, such as formula size, yield, which can be from 0 to 100%. And we also have different other features, such as ingredient type. It can be an active ingredient, for instance, and we can control the formula composition by percentages as well. In this particular case, this bulk item is produced by mixing 2 different components in different ratios. Okay, so I will go back to my sales order actually. Now that we are acquainted with what we are going to produce. I will go back all the way to my sales order here. And if you remember, at the beginning I said that the sales order is driving demand. So I'm planning to sell 700 of the first variant and 1100 of the second 25 milliliter product. And the delivery is scheduled sometime in September for this. However, we'll rush a little bit with production and produce them today, which is early June. Normally, what I would do now, I would go to my master planning module, which is really a very a robust and sophisticated module for planning my production and procurement. I would run the forecast and or master scheduling, and I will not do that right now because it normally takes some time, so we don't want to lose the precious minutes in this webinar. But the result of the master planning process are planned orders. So let me show you what the planned orders look like. Depending on the way we acquire certain products, we can have planned production orders, planned Kanbans, planned purchase orders, or planned batch orders, depending on the item type. In this particular case, let me just find my items that I plan to sell. You can see that I have 2 planned production orders for my finished goods, which are discrete items, and 1 planned batch order, which is for my bulk item that will then be consumed into this discrete item. And the type of the reference for the bulk item is planned batch order because this is a process manufacturing item. What can I find out from planned orders before I turn them into real orders? Let's start with a planned batch order. If I click on this number, I will get the details. Okay, these are the details of the planned order, and in the packing section here, you can see that I can see why I actually need this planned order. It's packed against bomb line, which is the order number indicated here, and also have a already created production line that expects the consumption of another 300,000. If I need more details about the requirement for this item and why we have the planned order in the first place, I can check my requirement profile, which will give me more details on what do I need to do to satisfy the requirement for this item. As you can see, it shows the existing on hand, which is already in my warehouse. I already have some production orders running for this bulk item, and the negative figures that you can see here are the consumption of this item that will happen sometime in the future, and the system is calculated this so well that at the end of this I will be left with none of the bulk products. So everything is really planned precisely to optimize your, for instance, warehouse levels. Let me go back to show you the same thing but for the finished goods. Okay, so as you can see, the finished good is packed against the sales order. So this is the sales order that this production order is going to fulfill once it's produced, and then I can go ahead and ship my finished good product. Also, the requirement profile shows similar information as in the previous example. I have supply and demand offsetting each other, and at the end I will be good. That means I will be left with none. In case you see a figure here in this blank box, that means that you configured your product actually to have some, for instance, minimum stock. And you always want to have this on hand if some unexpected sales happens. Okay, the planning process works in a way that we firm planned orders. Firming is actually turning a planned order into an actual order. So I will do that first for my bulk item now. So I select the order, click firm, confirm, okay. And as you can see, it disappeared from my planned orders list. However, it appeared in my production order list. Let me sort by item number to find it faster. And as you can see, this is my order, number 59, for 516,000 milliliters. And you will notice something we call a status. When an order comes from the planning system, it comes as a scheduled order. That means that the capacities of my work centers or resources are booked, and the order is basically received its time dimensions, so we know where the order will start, the production job will start, and when it will end. How can I see this really quickly? I can go to my scheduling tab here and visually check in my Gantt chart. If I expand this really quickly, I can see that this order is planned to start at a little bit before 8 a.m. on August 24th, and that's the setup part of the process. I need to set up the machine, prepare everything, and then I start the actual run, which lasts until August 20, it's a lot of milliliters there, August 28, little bit, or exactly, it should end at 2 p.m. So I can easily see what my production process looks like. If I hover over this bar in the Gantt chart, I can see some more operations, which operation number it is, what kind of job type it is, etc., etc. Okay, let's go back, time check. I think we're good so far. So now we are ready to start the life cycle of this production order. Basically, it's a batch order, to be precise, because this is a process manufacturing item. And in this tab called production order, I have options to process the order. So I will basically initiate the life cycle of this order stage by stage. The first action that I can do from this stage, and this is scheduled, is release. Before that, the estimation process is done automatically. I will show you the effects of the estimation process later. So I will release this order. What does it mean, release? Basically, that gives me options to print production documentation, and that signals the official start of the production. If I click OK, you see that I have this screen for the electronic signature. This is optional, of course, and if my process requires that certain changes in the production or batch order needs to be electronically signed, I can do that. For instance, if it's an FDA requirement. Okay, if I click OK, I need to enter my password, and my order is now released. I'm ready to start it and to record transaction against it. So what happens when I click Start here? I will make a little break here, and I will show you the General tab of this dialog. You see, I have options to do some things automatically here. Depending on the flushing principle of the item, which is configured at the item level, I can tell the system to consume all the raw materials automatically, either at the beginning of the process, which is basically now, or when we report is finished, the finished or semi-finished good. I can also choose to have the manual flushing, which means that I would manually manipulate the journals for raw material consumption. In this particular case, I will let the system automatically consume everything, which basically means, and we will see that later, that the quantities that are anticipated by my formula will be consumed exactly in the same quantities. The same applies to my route, which means that everything that is planned time-wise, so the duration of the production operations will be exactly as anticipated in the route. So I will click OK. Oops, I have some, does not contain electronic signature. So let's do that like this. Okay, I'll do that manually. Check the messages. It's complaining about the electronic signature, which is odd because we did release it with the electronic signature. So let me re-release it. Okay, so let's try to start it again. Otherwise, I will show you the workaround for this. It's not okay at all. So let's go back to the finished good in the planned orders. I will quickly firm it. Okay. If we go to the production orders, you can see now the scheduled production order for my finished good. So let's find it. Okay. Right. See that they come in a schedule status here. So as in the previous example, I can view the Gantt chart for them as well. See, setup and the actual assembly or filling. All right, I will release it. Again, it will ask for the electronic signature. Okay, I do have a problem with the electronic signature for some reason, really unexpected. Okay, So I apologize for this, but I will have to turn it off. Okay, and so, all right, let's go back to the production orders. Let's try to release them. Okay, it's released, and I will start. I will not do the automatic posting. I want to show it how it works with a manual posting. Oh, God. I think I will need to make a little detour here and show you some order that is already started in this case. I really apologize for this. This is unexpected. It didn't happen like an hour ago. So here I have a started order. And if I go to my view section here, you see the journal view here. I have pick lists, which are used to consume the raw materials for this production. And I have a route card, which is used to consume actual labor and overheads that I utilize in this particular production. It also consumes the machine time or the resource time necessary for this production. So the picking list journal contains all the components that are required for a particular production. If it's automatically posted, the proposal and consumption would match each other. So everything that's anticipated from the BOM or route will be the same in the proposal and consumption fields. However, and just for this example, I'll quickly create a new one. If I need to vary the consumptions from my proposal, I can really override this and decide that I will consume the actual consumption here. So no matter what the proposal is, I can enter a number here and post my journal. So that gives me an option to do add a variance to the estimated quantities that are planned for the production. The same thing applies for the route card. And the time that is planned for production can be taken as anticipated in the route, or I can add the actual time that I spent in the manufacturing process and enter the number of hours that I actually consume. That will give me the variance in the overhead, in the machine cost, labor cost, etc., etc. Okay, the next stage in the life cycle of the production is reporting is finished. I can report as finished in several ways. I can do that from the production route. I can do that by creating a report as finished journal, or simply I will use the report as finished functionality in the production order. specify the good quantity, and if I have any scrap or error quantity, I can specify it in this particular field and report my finished production. When the production is reported as finished, and I will show you that in the transaction screen in this example. You see that the production referenced, in this case, production number 200, has a receipt status received. This is what we call a physical transaction, and you see that in this transactional line we have a so-called physical date. In this particular case, this means that the finished goods are already in the warehouse and that they can be sold or consumed in another production. However, they're not fully cost accounted. So that the amounts that are in my work in progress, for instance, are still sitting in my work in progress ledger account. They're still not fully cost accounted. When I use the end functionality of my production order, that's the actual cost accounting happening. And I will show you one example of an ended production order. In this particular case, this is our bulk item, 0101. And once the batch order is cost accounted, I can view the costing parameters and amounts through, for instance, this option called calculation details. And this gives me a lot of useful information about the financial aspect of my production. In this tab, I see the estimation figures. If you remember, I could have first estimated the production or batch order. However, when it comes from the master planning system, it's already estimated and scheduled, so I didn't have to do that manually. And you can see that the estimated cost price for this 1 milliliter of the bulk item is $2.37. Pretty expensive, right? I can also calculate the sales price using some margins, but this is an option. This is, in this case, equal to the cost price, which is just for this example. A side note, for these items that we discussed, they're all standard cost items, and their costing is made by according to the costing sheet that I prepared during the configuration. If I switch to Overview Costing tab here, I see more details about what actually happened in this production process. You see I have estimated consumption, realized consumption. In this particular example, they're pretty much the same because I did not alter any quantities or number of hours in my picking list journal and or route journal. So that's why the estimated and realized consumption as well as costs are identical. And you can see the nice breakdown of what is the structure of this cost, what comes from the raw materials or semi-finished goods, what comes from the machine setup, machine hours. This is the lines 3 and 4 and 5, and some overheads that come from the calculation defined in my costing sheet. So it's really a nice breakdown. The last but not the least, I can view this in the costing sheet view per unit or per lot size, which is probably more representative, and by estimation and costing part to compare the estimated and actual numbers. Okay, the last but not the least is functionality that I want to show you, which is called the electronic batch record, and this is a part of Merit Solutions Max Life offering. Electronic batch records are documents that gather all the relevant transactional information from the production process, assemble them together in one document, and automatically create and post that document to my SharePoint site. So let's take a look at this one. For instance, you see I have this option here called SharePoint URL, and I have a link to this library and the folder to which the system automatically posted the electronic batch record for a production order. So let me see if I hit the right one. If not, I will show you the library. You see, the system automatically creates a folder in this EBR library on my SharePoint site, and I configured it in the way that the folder name represents this prefix EBR, and the production or batch order number that is that comes from the production. So it's really easy to navigate in to find my electronic batch record when I need to do that. Okay, so for instance, this one, you see it's a Word document sitting in the folder number 58, which means it comes from the production order number 58. And if I click on it, this is like a compilation of transactional reports that come from the system and that track every aspect of the production. This, let me remind you that this is also very configurable, and we can add or remove reports according to our particular needs. So let me scroll through this. For instance, we have the picking list report showing us the components that we consumed in the production process, the expiration date of the batch, quantities consumed. Then I have the equipment list, all the equipment that is used in the production and number of the operation at which the equipment is used. I have label reconciliation report, which in this particular case is blank because I didn't print any labels, etc. As I said, this is configurable, so I can always choose which documents I want to include in this particular electronic batch record. And if we happen to have more reports which are not included here, we can easily add them to the electronic batch record. So with that, we have 5 more minutes until the end of this webinar. I would leave those 5 minutes for the Q&A session if there are questions. If not, thank you very much for your attention, and I hope you really found this useful.
Thanks, Alexander. Thanks, Misty. At this time, we do not have any questions, so we can give everyone 5 minutes back of their day. I will follow up with the recording of this session later this afternoon, most likely. If any questions come to mind after that time, please feel free to reach out to me, and I can connect you with Alexander or Misty and make sure your answers or your questions are answered by the appropriate person. So once again, Misty, thank you for joining us. Alexander, thanks for your time. Everyone else, thanks for joining us today, and we look forward to following up and hopefully furthering these discussions. Have a great day.